Today we're going to talk about factoring trinomials. We are always going to find the GCF first. If it has a GCF, it'll make our life way easier. So always check that. Then we're going to multiply to get the first and last terms. And we're going to add to get our middle term. Now this sign here is super important in the back. It tells us what our signs will be inside the parentheses. So if this sign is positive, then both signs will be positive or both negative. If that last sign is negative, then one will be positive and the other will be negative. When we're doing this, we're going to be learning to do guess and check and thinking through our choices logically. You'll probably want to do this in pencil as you are learning, especially. So for the first problem, I've got x squared plus 6x plus 5. Look for GCF first. They don't all have x's and they don't all have coefficients except for one, so there is no GCF. Next I ask myself, what are the factors of x squared? What times what gives me that? X times x. What times what gives me 5? 1 times 5. I look at my last sign. It's positive, so the signs inside my parentheses will match. So now I have to have an x and an x here. I know I have to have a 1 and a 5. And then that's positive and that one's positive, so they're both going to be positive. And we're going to check. 5x, 1x, when you add them up, they do give me 6. So right here is my factored form. X plus 1 times x plus 5 gives us x squared plus 6x plus 5. For problem 2, again, we're going to look for GCF. They don't all have variables. They don't all have a coefficient, so I know it won't have one. And then I'm going to ask myself, what are the factors of x squared? That's just x times x. What are the factors of 10? 1 times 5, 2 times 10. That's a negative sign or minus sign, so I know my signs inside the parentheses are going to be different. Basically, I'm going to be subtracting the numbers. Oh, good gravies. It's 2 times 5, 1 times 10. I have two sets of parentheses, so I know x and x. And if I ask myself, if I have either 2 and 5 or 1 and 10, if I'm adding and subtracting to get to 3, what would make the most sense? Probably the 5 and 2. Want positive 3, so probably positive 5, negative 2. And we get 5x, negative 2x. Yes, that does give me my 3x. For problem 3, I've got 5x squared minus 25x plus 30. I look for GCF. They don't all have x's, but x squared has a coefficient and x has a coefficient. So I can look at the numbers, 5, 25, and 30. 5 goes into all of those. So I'm going to factor that out first. So I get 5 divided by 5 is 1, so 1x squared minus 5x plus 6. And then I'm going